Would you please describe being in the process, online dating, and can you explain what that means?
So anything that you want to accomplish in life, it's a process. Anything. If you've decided you're going to lose 30 pounds and you're going to tone your body, that's a process, right? It could take 6 months. And you have to stick with it every single day. You don't diet some days and eat, candy, and ice cream the next day. It's a process. You commit to it. You do what works every day. Same thing with online dating. You commit to the process. Now, maybe you didn't look that fabulous in the beginning. Well, 2 months later, when you've lost 15 pounds, take different photos. Now you're going to be attractive to a whole different group of people. Now you're going to start looking at people in a whole different way because you feel better about yourself. If you don't make that distinction that I'm committed to the process, then the odds of success are very slim for you because you're going to be one of those people who just quit. And then you're going to have to go to all your friends' weddings and you're going to be so disappointed. So don't quit. Be in the process. Do all the things that I'm talking about. Call me for a free session if you want one. And get yourself a fabulous husband or wife.
So, Susan, what about the people that like to be on one line dating site at a time? Is that a good idea?
Well, one online dating site is just a limited amount of people. So it's only about $45 a month. And if you buy more months at a time, then it could go down to, $25. So if this is the new partner you're looking for, if this is a new life that you want, doesn't it make sense to you, as it makes sense to me, that you would be on 2 or 3 dating sites that are applicable to your age and what you're looking for and who you're looking for? Because you'll see the same guys and the same women on a bunch of different sites. So I'm not inventing this without any evidence that it's a good idea. I have a lot of evidence that it is a good idea. So most of the people, I would say, go on Match because it's got the largest numbers. Then go on some specialty site. Christian Mingles, J-Date, Elite Singles, Millionaire Match. So at least those 2. Go on at least 2 dating sites simultaneously. And then make sure every single day you are checking on those sites. You don't want to leave somebody who's messaged you hanging for days and days. He'll find somebody else. He doesn't have anything invested in you. His best friend didn't tell him that you were a perfect person for him. It's just some silly algorithm on, an online site.
Oh my. Now, when a man actually reaches out to a woman, what does a woman really need to stop and consider before she accepts a date?
Well, you have to really look at who this person is, and you need to look online for who this person is. I mean, before I would ever have any one of my clients accept a date, they would talk to the person a couple of times. They would say, "My name is Susan Allan. I'd love to know your name." If there's anything weird, probably not for you. So let's say somebody says, "Oh, thank you, Susan. I appreciate it. My name is John Doe." You should be right on your computer instantaneously. John Doe in Santa Barbara, John Doe in Chicago, Illinois, John Doe in Palm Beach, Florida. Immediately you're looking. Oh, and by the way, what I do for a living is blah, blah, blah. What do you do, John? And he says, "Oh, and I am an attorney in Dade County, Florida." Great, thank you so much. Now you know exactly who he is. While you're on the phone with him, you need to look so you can ask intelligent questions. So how interesting. Are you from the Miami area, or did you just move there? Do you really enjoy your legal work? What kind of an attorney are you? That must be so fascinating. And you're thinking, oh, I hope he does immigration work because now he's got, hot and cold running clients all day, every day, 7 days a week if he's based in Miami. So you're trying to have an intelligent, connecting conversation based on the data you've got, and always getting more and more data as you continue.
It's a process of investigating.
It is. It is a process of so many different kinds. That's right.
That's
absolutely.
wonderful.
Absolutely.
Well, please describe appropriate dating behavior for online dating, because I know that you have said it's totally different from regular dating.
Yeah, well, the first thing you have to know is forget everything your mother taught you about being nice, because Online dates don't get that. You like the guy, you like the girl, great. You message him or her. Or he or she messages you and you reply in a wonderful, warm, and winning way. If you don't like that person, you just swipe. Next. And if the person has messaged you and that's not your person, you edit, delete. Because we live on a planet with 8 billion people. I'm not being hard. I'm not being mean. It's like when I went to India the very first time, no, the second time. The second time I went to India in 1975. And I had some great friends, really fabulous friends. And then there was this friend of my first husband. And he wanted to take me to a party, a wedding. So I went to do the right thing for my husband. And I came home and I said, Susan, there are 700 million people in this country. That was the number in 1975. You don't have time to be nice to all of them, Susan. That was your last evening with that guy. You will not be doing that again. Shocking.
That is.
And the very next thing I'm telling you is that my friends in India became the most powerful families in India, who had created Mahatma Gandhi's work, who had changed the face of India, who were the major industrialists. Some of the most deeply spiritual people in India are the major industrialists and their families. That was literally a 180-degree switch. And I've taught people how to do that as well. You don't have time to be nice to people when you're looking for your life partner. That's not what it's about. It is a numbers game. So please, play the numbers game to your advantage. Find a person who really meets most or all of your needs and have a wonderful life with him or her.
Results. Well, it's time for us to go into a clip we created, and this is going to be concerning intimacy. Please enjoy.
Well, the definition of a couple is when two merge into one. So that's a couple. Now, you don't know how to do that. You know, the reason that people get divorced is they never did that. Even if they've been married for 30 or 40 years, they never did that. So that's why one of them wakes up one morning and says, I've had enough. And that person was presumably suffering for a very long time. Because as I tell anyone who calls me to talk about that scenario where a partner is asked for a divorce or a partner has moved into the other bedroom or any of that, I say, look back a year. What happened a year ago? How did you know? Well, I know this because I've had the privilege of working with so many of you, and you have the same scenario, and I've also been through it. In my own life, I've lived through it. So two merging into one is what tonight's show is about. And that's what I'm going to teach you guys to do.
I would really guess that some of the benefits are more trust, more love, and what are some of the other benefits?
Well, first of all, greater mental health, greater physical well-being, greater financial stability, inner peace, you name it. And obviously, the biggest bonus of all, if you're really going on the, intimacy roller coaster to a happy conclusion, you're going to have fabulous sex. So, is there any reason not to learn how to do this? I would hope not. I would hope that you're now really interested in what we're saying and you're really wondering, okay, how fast can I get it and where can I get it?
Absolutely. So how can someone really create this deeply intimate relationship?
Well, in my tantric law coaching training, what I teach you to do is first connect to yourself in a very different way. You have to approach your partner with your own self-confidence, with your own enthusiasm, with your own joy, with your own affection intact. You can't go from a dark place and connect to your partner and expect that anything great is going to come out of it. So you are basically building your vibrational state. You are evolving, because that's what I teach. So you've got to evolve. As you evolve, it's true that sometimes your partner will disappear, because your energy is so strong and so high and so joyous that they don't want any part of it. But that's not your real partner then. That's not someone you want to stay with. If that's the scenario, then of course you've got to now magnetize the partner that is the right match for you, the right balance for you. Now let's say that your partner says, oh, he's going to get with the program. He or she sees that you're coming from a different place. You're full of joy, you're full of excitement, you're sexy, you're in the mood, your business is going better, your health is improved. Well, that partner, you'd hope that partner would wake up and say, hey, I don't know what you did, but I want to learn this too. And that's when you're going to teach them the 6-part conversation. You're going to teach them, and depending on their needs, depending on their character, thank you, Fred, you're going to be able to motivate them to learn how to be peaceful. Self-empathy is a trick that works every time. Then you're going to teach them how to empathize with you, because that's what you want to hear. You want to hear empathetic language. If you have time, I mean, if somebody's on the edge of the cliff, you're going to pull them. You're not going to be sweet and talk a lot. But if you're living with somebody, if you're married to someone, if they're your partner, you have plenty of time to do this in a peaceful, cooperative way. Thanks.
Wonderfully said. That was a great clip.
I love that clip. We did a great job.
Yeah.
We don't say so ourselves.
Now let's discuss this ick factor, Susan. Exactly what does that mean?
Well, you know the ick factor when you see it.
Oh, God.
You know, you see it and you go, oh no, okay, this is, no. Ick, right? And so, next, again, there's no shortage of candidates. There's no lack of abundance. That is first of all, it's a lie. There's no lack of abundance. There's plenty of people. There's plenty of options. There's plenty of dating sites. There's plenty of all that. If you do what you have to do, you'll find somebody great, or at least find somebody far better than you thought. Great depends on your ability to be at that level of great. I can teach you how to get up to great, like a volleyball, right? I can teach you that.
I like that. Okay, so let's discuss this. How about the deep diving to uncover someone's perhaps criminal record, background? Is that necessary?
You know, it really is the best approach. So I gave the example of telling them your full name so they can tell you their full name. Then I gave you the example of wanting to be online while you're on the phone with them so you can immediately go. Because if I say to somebody, you know, John, I know you said your name is John Doe, and I know that you said that you work for Santa Barbara Bank and Trust. I guess we don't have that anymore. Montecito Bank and Trust. I'm just a little surprised because I thought I would just look you up now to, you know, see you, since we're on the phone, we're talking about going on the date, and I just don't see you on LinkedIn. Where might I find you? And if you get a whole bunch of nonsense back, then, you know, gotta go. And if it's somebody that you are thinking is very serious as an opportunity for you, or they've let you know that they're very serious about you, it's worth spending the money for Spokeo. That's the best way to get the, you know, the scoop on somebody. Go to Spokeo. And there are plenty of other sites that are going to charge you, you know, like $30 to find out, but Spokeo is really the best.
So that would be a precaution no matter what, right?
Well, yeah, I mean, if you're looking for a life partner and you're looking for a husband or wife and you're looking for somebody to be the person you travel with and go out with and sleep with, then you better get in the habit of doing your research. Unless this is someone you know a lot about, unless this is someone who you can check up with friends. You know, we live in a small town, so maybe this is somebody you go, I know who that guy is. Okay, great. Then find out about that guy some other way. But if you can't, please go on Spokeo before you get yourself all wrapped up in a relationship with a con man or a thief or somebody who's a really, really troubled person. Or somebody who may not have always been the sex that they are right now. If that's not interesting to you, you probably want to know, because I had that with one of my clients and his former spouse. And I looked at the person that the former spouse was with, and I said, that's really wonderful that she's willing to be with someone who's transgender. And that was my way of phrasing it to be politically correct. And my client almost had a heart attack because they have children, and the children were spending all this time, and he was really, really upset. Well, we had to deal with that.
More and more popular as well. Now, how fast actually should men and women progress forward to phone calls and meetings?
Well, you want to have a phone call right away. So again, I don't believe in flirts, I believe in emails. And if you're interested in someone and you're a woman, email. If you're interested in someone and if you're a man, email. The person who responds back to you better know how to write an email. Their English better be great. They better know how to spell. You can tell a whole lot from an email. Then, after you do a couple of emails, then you suggest, I would really enjoy talking to you on the phone. Would you like me to give you my number, or would you prefer to give me yours, whatever it is? Boom, you're on the phone. If the person doesn't do that, then this is probably someone who's married or already living with somebody, or somebody who is catfishing you. That's not their photo. That's not who they are. That's not their profile. Better to know fast, right? Of course, of course. But now let's say you're on the phone and everything seems fine, and the person's really vibing with you and vice versa, then why not make plans? If you're the guy, you're still supposed to be asking the woman out. If you're the woman, you're still supposed to be charming and enchanting until he asks you out. That's the best way to play it, because those are the social norms we have in the United States. And bucking the social norms about something as small as that, I wouldn't recommend it. Hold off and wait for something big. Like asking him to cook and do the dishes and clean.
Oh, gee.
You know, wait for something important. Well, Howard Hughes does all the vacuuming, you know.
I like that.
Yeah, he does all the vacuuming. Every single day he vacuums.
Yay, Howard.
That's right.
Now, when a man seems very shy, what does that actually mean to a woman?
You know, that's so interesting to me. Shyness can either mean that the person doesn't have the self-esteem he needs to have to be worthy of a date with you. It may mean that the guy is a rabid egomaniac who doesn't want to even go out on a limb to show you who he is, and he's sitting in his head judging you like mad, you know. So either of those things, I don't find shy attractive. I don't find shy appealing. If somebody's charmingly shy, that's different.
Yeah.
They can be charmingly shy, you know. Well, they don't want to, you know, they don't want to scare you. They don't want to rush you off your feet. They, you know, but they have to look really, really interested in our world. Somebody's going to be anything less than really interested in you on a dating site, again, there are millions of people. Don't try to, you know, fight your way, you know, like a salmon going upstream, please.
Yeah, you want it easy and
Yeah,
to
natural.
flow.
That's right. Easy and natural.
Now, I know that you've said that every relationship needs to be 90%, 95%. Let me
Yeah.
reread that. Oh,
That's
that's
right.
even
That's
better.
a lot. That's a lot.
And the easy and natural term. And so how is that really possible online dating?
Okay, well, so that's in the process of, right? In the process of. So the profile looks good to you because you play golf, you play tennis, so does he. You love movies, so does he. He's a cinematographer. He loves movies. You enjoy Mexican food, you enjoy Italian food, oh, so does he. But you're allergic to cats, he's got 2 cats, he's not a match. He's not giving away his pets because of you. I would not want you to go there. That would make me personally nuts. So next, now you need somebody who likes tennis and golf and loves movies and likes Mexican food and whatever else I said and doesn't have cats, right? So very, very, very focused on exactly what you're looking for.
Okay. All right. No adopting their cats. Okay, I get it. Now, with women who really don't seem interested, how hard should a man really pursue them?
Why are you not seeming interested? I imagine because you're not interested in that guy, right? Because if that guy were a hot guy, and whatever flavor of hot we're talking about, so if that guy were a hot guy, you'd be interested. So if you're not interested, he's not your guy. Do you care? No. Why? Because there are 8 billion of us on the planet Earth. You don't care. You're busy. You're looking. You're shopping.
Oh my goodness. Okay, well, let's move on to this question.
But let me first say,
Okay.
if anybody asked me the number one mistake I made in my life about men, the number one mistake, it was that I was more interested in their needs being met by having them be happy with me than I was in my needs being met, me being happy with them. Now, do we care why I was so messed up? No, I don't care. Do we care what my parents did to me? No, nobody cares. I don't care. Please don't care. The bottom line is, you have to be totally focused on you in order to find a person who is perfect for you. And then once you find that person, then you have to be just as focused on him or her. But notice the time frame I've just described. Okay. And you know what I'm talking
Yeah,
about.
big time,
Yes,
big time.
Big time. But it was a terrible time.
Yeah, no settling.
Because you can't.
Right.
You can't settle. You know, you've done shows on lust and love. You can't settle for somebody you don't lust after who doesn't lust after you. That's crazy. You can't settle for somebody you don't love who doesn't love you. That's crazy. You can't settle for someone whose lifestyle makes you want to scream or throw up, and vice versa. That's crazy. You have to find somebody who's a match. You know, that's why it's called Match.com. It's not called BadFit.com.
Well, that'd be an interesting one.
Settling. It's not called Let'sSettle.com.
Easy does it here. Okay. Okay, so what about these men who become obsessed with women? And of course, the opposite we know could be true.
Yes.
How do you actually protect yourself from obsessive, crazy people?
Block them. You block them. You know, you unfriend them on Facebook. You all know about that. You block them on dating sites. You never tell people where you live anyway. And now, no matter what kind of a phone you have, you know, I have an internet phone and I can block your number if I need to. And I have a cell phone and I can block anybody's number if I need to. And that's how you operate. You know, you operate like an intelligent adult living in this year, not 40 years ago when you didn't have to think about such things.
This is really serious stuff. We're having fun sharing it, but it is very serious.
Very serious, absolutely, because there are bad things that happen to people all the time. In fact, nowadays, if you go on a dating site, it will tell you that you have to assess and answer the question that you promise you will not send money to anyone who you meet on this dating site. And they all do it. I mean, what kind of crazy Nigerian prince did you think is really going to ask you for money? I mean, if you really think that you're hearing from a Nigerian prince has plenty of money. You know, one of my friends made $1 million in the capital of Nigeria in 1 year doing business with those Nigerian princes. So be clear about it. The real ones, not the fake, phony ones.
Oh boy, I have a couple girlfriends that need your help. It just came to mind.
Oh, good.
Now, if people are really thinking of moving or if they already planning to move, how do they handle that online dating?
It's fabulous. You can change the zip code you're looking for in like 2 seconds and, you know, refresh, and may take till the next morning. And suddenly, if you're going to New York on a business trip or London on a business trip, you have a whole slew of potential matches. I know a lot of my friends and some of my clients who travel a lot on business, and they don't ever have a shortage of companionship. make sure you start communicating with them long before you go on your trip. So, I'm going to be spending a lot of time in London this year. You don't say I'm there for 3 days. And I would love to get to know you, and I'd love to take you out, and I'll be there on, May 13th. Not that's Mother's Day here, so if they're American, and I don't actually know when Mother's Day is in England, but pick another day, so May 15th, whatever. And I'd love to take you out for dinner. Why? Because you're in a country, presumably you don't know a lot of people. You don't want to go out to dinner alone. This is fabulous. There you go.
Fun. So
Fun,
therefore,
exactly, fun.
trick word, we love it.
Fun.
Now, what about travel? Can online dating really be that opportunity to socialize
You did, I just asked that.
vacation? Okay, thank you. So we're very clear, and
Oh,
now
moving, no, I apologize. I apologize, the first one was moving, the second one is travel. So, thank you. So, moving, change your zip code in the dating site, and there you go. Travel, now travel is an interesting thing, because for what purpose are you traveling? So if you're going on a business trip, you have to be careful. I don't want you showing up with somebody you don't know at a business event. Please don't take that chance. You can imagine how badly that would go, right? Don't do it. But if you're going on a business trip, and now there's this person that you've never met, never seen, find a time when you can meet that person, maybe the day before. And if the person is who he or she said they were, then this might be a great opportunity to have an escort, have a date. That could be great. But you got to check them out. You really have to pay attention. And even if somebody looks good and is well educated and well dressed and well groomed, you have to check that that person isn't, like, for instance, a user of drugs and a lot of alcohol, because that's still a horrible way to be embarrassed, right?
that
Yeah.
absolutely.
Be really careful.
I'm thinking of a bodyguard wherever you go, but okay. With your
Been
help,
there,
we don't.
done that.
So tell us about the biggest error that men and women actually make in online dating, and how can they avoid it?
The biggest mistake you can make besides settling is giving up. Because if you say to me or to yourself, I want to be in a committed relationship, and then I say to you, by what day, month, and year? You say, and then you use goal reaching, right? I am in a committed relationship with my perfect life partner by July 5th, 2018. Whatever date you say. And you have to be real for you. It's not for me to set the date. But if you say, I am in a committed relationship with my perfect life partner by that date, trust me when I tell you, online dating is going to help get you there. It's not going to make it harder. You may still meet somebody when you go to the dry cleaner. But the fact that you're doing online dating reminds you not to walk out of the house looking like you're going, heaven knows where, right? Like you just cleaned your house. Don't do that. If you're looking for your perfect life partner, clean your house, clean up, and then go out, right? Even if it's to the dry cleaner. But you have to be clear about your deadline. You have to be absolutely focused, and you cannot give up. So if your date is July 5th, 2018, I don't want you to call me on July 1st and say, I give up.
Oh.
You could give up on July 5th at midnight, not a minute before. And you have to go for it, full tilt boogie, as we used to say in Est, until you have reached your goal, not until the clock runs out. If you want this result, you have to want it. You have to be willing to sacrifice for it. Remember that change cost we talked about last time I was on the show? There is a change cost. The things you have to do to lose 15 pounds, you have to be willing to pay the cost. You have to be willing to sit online, either in the morning or at night or on your lunch hour or all of the above on weekends, and you have to be willing to speak to people on the phone. You have to be willing to go on dates with them. You have to be willing to evolve your energy, learn how to handle this in order for you to bring this perfect life partner into your life. And then you'll be talking to me about how to make it wonderful. But first we got to get you that person.
That's self-generating excitement, enthusiasm, and persistence. Commitment for results.
That's right. That's right.